welcome to the press conference. The first part is embargoed until 10 a.m, the second part until 10:30 this evening. Mandy, would you like to start?
Morning, Ollie.
Morning, Ollie.
Morning.
Morning. I'm just wondering if you feel your squad are more up to speed in terms of fitness and sharpness than they were last week in terms of what you've seen this week in training.
Yeah, of course, we're a week further down the line, and it's been a good week. We had some players have been training well, and the work on the training ground's been good, and some played well against Luton. So of course we're further down the line, which probably other teams are as well. So we need to be further down the line, because last week was a disappointing one.
What are the challenges of facing the same opponents twice in a row in two different cup competitions? Does that mess with your thinking in terms of team selection?
It happened so many times. It happened to us last year with Wolverhampton as well. So it's just one of those. We have to take one game at a time. Now it's the Premier League first, and all our focus is on that one. We had a bad start last week, and we want to kick on and play a better game. Of course, we played them in after the restart as well. So we have some good memories from that game, and hopefully we can show something like.
Good morning, Ollie.
Morning.
I just wanted you to assess maybe your options at centre-back. I mean, you've got some young players pushing, you've got some senior players who are wearing the shirt at the moment. Are you confident that you won't need to strengthen that area in the next sort of 10 days? Have you got what you need, essentially? I
think last season proved to us how we can defend at our best. Yeah, last week wasn't fantastic. We conceded sloppy goals, but then I think our defensive record from last season showed with Eric and Harry how good a partnership they were, but also with the whole team defending as a team. Eric now is fit again, which is a big bonus and a big plus for us. I'm looking forward to seeing him develop and play more games this season, because we've been waiting for him to first be fit, but then again to play more regularly.
I know one of your pressures is keeping players happy, and you won't bother too much about that because you want a winning team, but you've got good players who aren't playing, the likes of Romero, Smalling, Rojo and others as well. Will you look at it over the next few days and think good players need to be playing good football, that they can go?
Players are happy when they play well and win games. I'm happy when we play well and we win games. It's not my job to keep them happy. It's my job is to pick players for the club that we get results, and it's up to them, of course, to be fit, to work hard and be ready when called upon.
Sam Stone.
Hi, Ollie. Would you expect In and Out to be busy over the next week? Obviously, we said last week about the fans are getting edgy. You get linked with all these players, and when none of them come off, they complain. Just wondered what you think about your squad and whether you expect it to change by the time you get to the end of the deadline.
Well, as I've said so many times, I'm very confident in my players, and if and when something happens, both ins and outs will update you. That's in football, you can't predict too much. But for me, we're just working on getting better. My focus is solely on the game. I can't be thinking any other way now. We need 3 points in this game, and then we can talk again.
One of the positives last week was Van der Beek came on and got his goal. Do you see a midfield where he, Fernandes and Pogba can play in? Because a lot of people have said it's difficult to imagine how all three of them could be in the same midfield.
Well, I think good players can play well together, and that's the first point. But also Scott, Nemanja and Fred, they're also good players. So there's competition for those places. So I can see lots of different combinations in that midfield, different systems as well. So we're probably going to see them together at some point.
Ollie, do you see there being any chance of Chris Smalling being reintegrated into the first team if he doesn't get the move to Roma? Because I guess there was a feeling that he came back from Roma a better player. I wonder if at any point you considered whether he might be part of the first team plans this season.
Different things need to happen then. So let's wait and see if there is that change. So let's see what happens if and when the transfer window closes, and what happens to Chris.
Andy Nixon.
Hey Ollie, are you happy with your progress against teams that defend deep and are hard to break down? I know Brighton last week had 3 but switched to a 5 when they were defending. Palace obviously had the 2 blocks of 4.
I wasn't happy with the game against Palace. Of course I wasn't. We weren't ready. We weren't ready to play at the intensity that we needed, the quality that we needed. The runs weren't there. Then again, after the restart in June and July, I thought we'd taken big strides. So once in a while, one game lives its own life, and I think the Palace one was a very disappointing one. But I'm still confident that we can break teams down with our quality. But we need some more imagination, more quality, more precision than what we had in that game. That's for sure.
Okay, next question, Ian Parker.
Good morning, Ollie. I wanted to ask, we've heard this week that there's been a setback in terms of allowing fans back into the stadium, and that will have a particular impact on the lower leagues. Would you like to see the Premier League offer financial support further down the pyramid?
I think, first of all, it's the situation we're in, and the virus and everything it's so difficult to predict what's going to happen. And now when the rate is going up and the fans aren't coming in, it's even worse for football and, well, in society in general. So, but yeah, I am worried for League 1, League 2 teams, lower teams as well. Of course we are, but all the Premier League teams as well are losing money, and we're hopefully we can get back, and football will be normal, and the clubs, and we won't lose too many clubs. How we can do it, I'm sure we need clubs locally. We've seen Bury, we've seen Macclesfield, we've seen clubs Wigan struggle, so it's not a nice situation to be in.
Okay, moving on.
And as always, you can get the full action of that press conference tonight, 10:30 here on MUTV. Arthur Albiston joins us in the studio. Arthur, plenty to discuss there from Ollie's press conference. Let's start with maybe the slow start last week against Palace. That was one of the early questions. We were a week or so behind everyone else, weren't we?
Yeah, probably we could have done with the season just continuing on, starting the new one right after the first one finished without a break. But certainly, slow's the operative word there, really. We got off to a slow start, not only last week, but during the game, if you like. Letting a goal in after 7-8 minutes. Yeah. The tempo wasn't quick enough, and you're a goal down after, as I say, 7-8 minutes, so it's hard to get back into it. So they give us a bit of a wake-up call, if you like, and hopefully we can rectify that. Yeah,
it's just such a strange period for football at the moment, isn't it? You know, the seasons are a bit out of sync. You know, it must be difficult for a player, wasn't it, the mindset? Because, you know, you're coming off one, you're straight into another, everyone's starting at different times.
Yeah, watching the matches with no fans, and it looks as if the players are almost reluctant to tackle each other or kick each other. The first few games I watched, you couldn't really watch it. It's just, and I'll watch anything on the TV, but certainly it took ourselves a little bit of time to get into it, but once we did, we had a good lockdown period, really, and then finished the season very, very strongly.
Yeah, do you think that we should look a bit sharper now after our good positive result midweek? You know, we've got some goals behind us. Do you think that will help the lads physically, mentally?
Yeah, it's just what we need, really. Going down to Luton, who had a good start themselves in their domestic league, we got a 3-0 result there, deservedly won it. And hopefully that will stand us in good stead for going down to Brighton at the weekend, who are on the back of a good result against Newcastle last week.
Yeah, they're unbeaten in 3 coming into this game, so they'll be full of confidence when they.
They will be. Tough game, always is, and you'll have them well organised. But we went down there last season and won 3-1 and blew them away really in the first 20 minutes. So hopefully we can do that again.
Yeah. Twice in a week we'll be playing Brighton, so that faces a completely different challenge, doesn't it, psychologically? You know, you've got to go down there twice. You know, Graham Potter gets his side very organised, as you said. They're a threat, aren't they, Brighton?
Well, they are. I'm sure the starting 11 for the Premiership game will be totally different for the midweek game. Both sides will probably rest players and give players some minutes under their belt, but certainly we've just got to focus on the first one and make sure we get 3 points out of that game.
Yeah, midfield is a busy area for United at the moment. It was brought up there in the press conference. How do you keep all those players happy? Ollie mentioned it's a busy season. There's going to be lots of games. Is it as simple as that? We just rotate through.
Try telling that to midfield players when they come knocking on your door saying why am I not playing. But certainly, yeah, I'm sure Ollie has pointed out to them that hopefully we're going to have a successful season. That will mean playing 50, 60 matches, and everybody will get plenty of matches to play in, and you're allowed more subs now as well, which I think helps the managers, whereas in our day we only had like one sub. So certainly all the players will be, they'll know they'll get their fair quota of games if they're playing well, and the lads who are playing well will keep the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more subs in Europe, but it's back to 3 in the Premier League. So as you said, there will be plenty of opportunities, won't there, for players? You know, there's if the season goes as we plan, your time will come, won't it, if you're in that.
Very much so. Players get injured, suspended, whatever, off form. So the manager will utilise his squad throughout the whole season, which is going to hopefully last 9 months.
Yeah, Ollie said there as well. Obviously, he's got to keep the players happy. That's the job of the manager. But he wants them to want to play. They want to start. They want to have that passion to play for United, which is a must, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great problem to have. Too many players for only 11 positions. You want players to be disappointed they're not playing, and I'm sure there will be lads disappointed they're not starting at Brighton. But it's up to them to play well and keep the shot.
Once you've won a game like you did midweek against Luton, it's important to keep that momentum going, isn't it? Keep up your morale in the squad. You know, winning breeds winning, doesn't it?
Exactly. It was a comfortable result, and it's good that the 2 young lads got goals near the end of the game, albeit the game was over anyway. But we won 3-0. The two young strikers came off the bench and scored, so that helps. You want your strikers getting goals early in the season.
Yeah, we can see our goalkeepers there in training. David and Dean obviously poses the question, doesn't it? You know, who starts in goal? You know, what are your thoughts on that situation?
Again, it's another happy problem for the manager to have. But speaking as a former defender, you want to get continuity in your side, especially at the back and with the goalkeeper.